Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we will be talking about the match between Barcelona and Elche. They will be competing for the Joan Gamper trophy, and so it is going to be a very exciting match. We should expect to see a lot of things happen within this game, and so in this video we will be talking about the three things that we do want to see Koeman implement or do in this match. And I think that it is always great to make these type of videos because when a new coach does come in, they do bring new ideas, they do bring a new system in, and with the players that Koeman does have in his hands, there is so much Koeman can do with this FC Barcelona squad. And so this match between Barcelona and Elche will be the last match before we do head into the first La Liga match, which will be against Villarreal on September 27th. And I believe that by now, knowing that we have played already 2 matches, I think that Koeman does have an idea of who is going to be starting in that starting 11 for tomorrow's match. And I also do think that whoever does start against Elche is going to be starting against Villarreal. And obviously we are going to see subs being made later in this match, which is going to lead me to my first point on what I do expect Koeman to do against Elche, and that is to use Pjanic and Ansu Fati for the first time. Now, Pjanic and Ansu Fati have been out for their own reasons. We know that Pjanic, he did have COVID-19 symptoms, his presentation was delayed, and then that allowed his training to also be delayed, so he was backtracked. And as for Ansu Fati, we know that he has been encountered by an injury where they did say that he was going to be out for 10 days, and so Ansu Fati has yet to be featured under Ronald Koeman. And it says here, according to Sport, Ansu Fati has recovered from his hip discomfort and returned to training normally with the group. The team trained for the last time before the match against Elche. And I do want to lean towards Ansu Fati for a second, right? Because I think that there is great anticipation when it comes to Ansu Fati, because right now there is a huge debate for this player, and that is that Barcelona are considering on placing Ansu Fati as the number 9 for Barcelona, or continue to use him as a left winger. Because right now it is safe to say that Barcelona will not be bringing in Lautaro Martinez. He is completely out of their plans. And as for Memphis Depay, it is starting to become more and more unlikely that he is going to be a Barcelona player for this upcoming season. Now the big question is, if we do place Ansu Fati as the number 9, how is he going to respond? That is something that is going to be answered through time, a question that could be answered within these next 2 or 3 months. But I do believe that one of these 3 things that I'm going to mention is going to happen to Ansu Fati, and that is either going to be he either starts as a left winger and there's going to be occasions where he does shift his position as a center forward, or he starts as a center forward and there is going to be occasions where he does need to shift his position as a left winger when needed. Those 2 things that I have mentioned are 2 completely different things with 2 completely different outcomes. And then the last one is obviously going to be that he's going to be restricted as a center forward. He is only going to play as a center forward and he's going to stay in that position. So either of those 3 things are going to happen to Ansu Fati. We don't know what role he's going to take, but it's ultimately going to come down to those 3 things. And that is what makes it so interesting, right? Is that we don't know what Koeman does have in his plans for Ansu Fati. And so I do advise for us to really examine Ansu Fati's movement within this match against Elche if he does play. And then moving on to Pjanic, Koeman did have an interview with Cat Radio and he said this: Pjanic will be included in the squad list for tomorrow's game. He's very likely to play, even though he can't play for the entire game, which means that we should expect to see Pjanic start right next to De Jong. Maybe not through the whole match, but we should expect to see Pjanic be in that double pivot, something that we have yet to see under Ronald Koeman. The only double pivot choice that we have seen under Ronald Koeman was De Jong and Sergio Busquets. This is a duo where we have seen some flaws. They have lost possession in certain times within the game and they have left space in the field, and so there is some flaws within this duo. And I think that with Pjanic partnering with De Jong, when Pjanic is fit, I think that Pjanic can cover more ground than Busquets, and that is going to greatly benefit a player like De Jong. And so I am very excited to see what Pjanic can bring with De Jong in that double pivot for tomorrow's match. Moving on to the second point that I do want to see Koeman implement for tomorrow's match, and that is going to be the 4-2-3-1 system. This is a point that I always do talk about every time we do head towards a match, and the reason why I am so keen on this formation is because I really do think that this is the formation that is best suited for FC Barcelona. And here's the thing, If we look at the top 6 most expensive signings that Barcelona have made, there is 4 players in that top 6 list that are still in this squad today, and that is De Jong, Dembele, Coutinho, and Griezmann. And there has always been this conversation of we need to sell these players in order to get the players that we want in order to make Barcelona better. And I think that the alternative for us to do when it does come to these 4 players is that we should get the best out of these players, which means that we need to use the best formation to get the best out of Griezmann, Coutinho, Dembele, and De Jong. And we have done that in the previous matches. And in result, we have seen Griezmann, Coutinho, Dembele, and De Jong play much better than they did before. Not only that, but we can use all of them in the starting 11, and that is a great thing to see. Something that I did talk about in my previous game was that it looked almost impossible to have Messi, Griezmann, Coutinho within the same starting 11, but it does work under the 4-2-3-1 system, and it only makes sense to continue to use this system in the match against Elche and continue to perfect the way we do play going forward. So the third key point that I do want to see Koeman implement in this match is that I do want him to go all out for a high scoring match, because in the previous 2 games that we have played under Ronald Koeman, we have ended with a 3-1 score line, meaning that we do need a match where we do need to win 4-0 or 5-0. Last time we did win 5-0 was against Alaves, which was 4 games ago. And the reason why this type of match is so needed is because of what's currently going on in this club. Right now, there is a vote of no confidence being taken place within this club, which means that they are going against Bartomeu. They do want to get Bartomeu out from this club, and so there is tension. This club is currently divided. And even before that, we did have the Messi saga, where Messi did want to leave Barcelona to go to Manchester City. And I know for a fact that right now, Messi is currently in that recover phase. And I believe that the best way to get rid of that pain is to really have a high scoring match, and most importantly, enjoy your football. And we do have an interesting report coming from Adrià Albets, where he did say some Barcelona players are very pleasantly surprised by the physical intensity of Koeman's training sessions. Some players have even highlighted that it has been a long time since Barcelona had trained with the intensity that is being seen recently. Now, we have heard this story before when Setien did come back in February 2020. Now, it has also been said that the main difference between Koeman and Setien is that Koeman does like to implement a military drill type of training, which is very interesting. And I believe that that is greatly going to translate on the pitch, which is why I do say enjoy your football, have a high scoring match, while at the same time keeping that same exact intensity that Koeman does want these players to have. And so, final conclusion, I do expect to see a more refined Barcelona, and this is going to be my predicted starting 11. I do expect to see Neto in goal. Our defensive line is going to be Jordi Alba, Lenglet, Araujo, and Semedo. Our double pivot, I do expect to see De Jong and Pjanic. And as for our 4 attackers, I do expect to see Coutinho on the left, Griezmann in the middle, Trincao on the right wing area, and then Messi play the number 9 role like we did see in the previous match. And then later in the match, I do expect to see Ansu Fati come in later in the game alongside with Ricky Puig, Conrad de la Fuente, and hopefully the 17-year-old Pedri. And my predicted scoreline for this match is going to be 4-0. And lastly, I do want to end it with some breaking news coming from Fabrizio Romano, and he has stated Diego Godin has finally made his transfer out away from Inter Milan. Agreements is almost reached. He is going to leave Inter as a free agent and will sign until June 2023, which would then allow Arturo Vidal to join Inter Milan. And there you have it, Vidal will finally be leaving Barcelona to go to Inter Milan. This is a move that we have been waiting in order to give the green light for Vidal to move to Italy, and this will be the first step for us Barcelona fans to get the players that we do desire. And right now, based off the reports that we have been hearing, it's either going to be Eric Garcia, Serginho Dest, or Memphis Depay. I cannot tell you who Barcelona is currently very interested in. I also cannot tell you who is most likely to come, but these are the 3 players that have been talked about the most when it comes to the player transfers surrounding FC Barcelona. Let me know who you desire to see the most and who do you think is more greatly needed within this club. So that'll be it for today's Barcelona pre-match preview and daily news. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.